Hi there, everybody, and welcome to Roll with Advantage. Super happy to be here for this next session of the Tales of Evrand, Chapter 13, Book 4. Very excited to be here. Do not take Ryan's face too seriously, because he is dead. Not Ryan, Gideon is. So Ryan is here as a spectator. Oh my God. Ryan is here as a spectator right now.
Spectoral spectator.
He is. And we'll just kind of have to see what happens. So yeah, let's go ahead and roll the intro and get started. All right, and we are back. Take it away, John.
Yes, welcome back to the Tales of Evrand. We're going to jump right into this game. No dilly-dallying today. I will recognize Kayla's makeup, though.
Oh, thanks.
It's freaking great. But, speaking of Kayla, you are on summary this week. So, Kayla as Yrsa, if you would like to take it away.
Yeah.
Get us into this game.
Okay, Book 4, Chapter 12. I knew, going in, that there was little to no hope in changing his mind, but I never thought this. I never wanted this. We returned from Hillgrove with Ulfric. This is where we began to devise our plan with all of the allies we gathered. The time and the day was set, the distraction was ready. It seemed so simple then, so straightforward. Rian and Gideon, they spoke, apparently. Words of death, preparing for what could happen, but even then, I dare not think of it. Not that, not this. And then Rian spoke to me. Words that I was not prepared to hear. Words that I am not worthy of. He spoke of love, his love for me, and I do not deserve such things from anyone. Then the time came, the time to see our plan through. We arrived in such confidence. How foolish we had been. How foolish I had been. And before I could even begin my final plea, Oberyn had it all laid out in front of him. He knew. He was watching every minute, every single moment. He watched us plan, and in his eyes he saw nothing but betrayal and the imminent cut of a sword, and he heard nothing of what I said, nothing. None of my words, my kindness, my hope, none of it from the beginning meant anything to him. I gave him a chance. Something no one else in their right or stable minds would ever do, but instead, he saw what he wanted to see. He chose to become the monster that he feared, and I will not allow myself to be used again. Battle is immense. Every move, every plan, we came to this fight prepared, and we executed to the best of our ability. I have no doubt in that. But what we did not plan on was Gideon. He drew Oberyn's attention and he said awful things that he knew would anger him, and then Oberyn... It should have never happened. Rian had managed to heavily injure Oberyn. He cut his hand clean off, but then Oberyn teleported away. No, he ran. He ran away. He ran like an injured dog back to his den to lick his wounds. And I look at the pain in the eyes of my friends, the anger. But what Oberyn does not know is that there is now a storm coming, a storm so wicked and so full of wrath that only Melora herself has ever known. Thank you.
What a way to send us into this game. So,
I'm ready. No,
As-
I'm not.
we pan back to the party. That is not the one. I'm so sorry. iPad. We pan back to the party inside the bottom layer of Oberyn's estate within Eildon. Oberyn has just stepped backwards after firing a lethal final blow to your party member Gideon. Turned to dust before all of you, before making an escape to what seems a teleportation circle. Not before losing his arm to Rian. You successfully healed the elven man, known to be the lawmaster of Eildon, the commander of the guard, Cornelius. He lays unconscious, but stable, on the top of this altar table, sacrificial stone. But that is not where the party's worries lie. As all of you, still with the breath of battle, the adrenaline coursing through your veins, eventually, one after the other, looking over to see Gideon is no longer there. Ulfric and Gak are unconscious, but stable in the back of the room as well. So I will ask the Seekers what they would like to do.
Basil
Oh, go for it.
is gonna pull out one of her vials, and she's gonna start scooping up Gideon's ashes into the vial.
Okay. You go over there and start frantically trying to gather whatever is left of Gideon. You can see that the magical items that he held are there, which I believe
She's not gonna care about those. She's only trying to keep what we have left of him.
I mean, I can tell you what the items are. It's not as much as you would think.
I know one of them is the boots of Elvenkind. So there's a pair of boots that are just sitting there.
And his Bulgara cloak.
I will also say, you do find the remnants of his cannon as well. But you are able to successfully gather a semblance of the dust. The dust is also laying on a very unclean, dirty, dusty cobblestone floor as well. So while Basil is doing that, what are the rest of you doing? I guess I'll go around the table. Rian.
Yeah, I think that Rian, in the moment, seeing Oberyn disappear and then turning and seeing Gideon turn to dust, I think that there would be a moment for Rian where the world kind of freezes and all he hears for a moment is just ringing, as if there was just an explosion that went off next to him. And it's just ringing, and it feels like so long. And he thinks to himself, we'll get him back. But there's nothing we can do right now to help him. And he's going to turn towards where Gak is, and he's going to start moving towards where Gak is and take out one of his health potions, ready to give it to Gak.
Okay. We'll say in the same motion as you head over to Gak, give him the health potion. What kind of potion is it? Greater?
I think it's common. I think those are the only ones we have. Let me double check.
I think everybody had one greater.
It was one
that
greater?
We gave out.
Okay, yeah, it was a greater.
Yeah.
So 4d4
Yeah.
plus 4. You can go ahead and roll that.
I'll go ahead and mark the greater off.
I will say that Elias used his potion in the last session.
It's 11 Gak.
Elias is going to go over and tend to Ulfric. That's what he's going to do. Gak, your eyes open, your breath shallow but productive. You wake up with your head near the lap of Rian over top of you.
Oh, every time. That sucks.
Gak, we lost Gideon. Oberyn killed him.
And Gak, Rian can probably see Gak is breathing really heavy, but it's slow breaths. And Gak just kind of he nods a little bit and then just closes his eyes and just lays there.
We'll get him back. We will.
And he nods some more, and then you see a tear start to come from his eyes.
I think that Rian would probably pull him up a bit into a hug.
Okay. Yrsa, you are a saber-toothed tiger still.
She would, the moment that Gideon was blasted, she would have dropped that. And you can kind of see her back to her normal self, and she just kind of has her hands out in front of her, and there's this really long moment where she has her mouth open like she's saying something, but there's nothing that's coming out. And she's just looking down at her hands. And after about 5 minutes or so, I'm not gonna do this because I'm not gonna hurt everybody's ears. But she lets out this scream, like the sound of somebody stepping on a cat. And it comes from the pit of her stomach, and emotional damage. It's so loud. It's like I said, the sound of someone stepping on a cat, crushing a bird in their hand. It's all these animal sounds, and somehow Yrsa at the same time, and she just screams. And the scream just takes everything out of her to where she's brought down to her knees. And there is just this explosion of vines and leaves and thorns that encase every element of her body, where they are just kind of twirling up and around her, almost like trying to protect her from anything touching her. And they start to kind of spread out underneath her feet, and just maybe a 10-foot area around her. It's like a small tree has sprouted from her, and she just falls and cries inside her cocoon she's made.
Yeah. So, all of you doing your various things, you hear this scream that sounds like an entire forest being injured. The wind beating across the entirety of this layer, and you see actual stone and stuff from the ceiling fall, and from around Yrsa, the ground quakes and the cobblestone cracks, and you see plants invasively make their way through the architecture and destroy most all of the cobblestone and encapsulate it around Yrsa, creating these thorn bushes around her, almost encapsulating like a small sphere. And you see those vines and thorns start wrapping around almost everything in this room slowly.
When that happened, Gak opens his eyes and he looks over to see all this happening. And he slowly tries to get up, where he's kind of like leaning on his arms.
Yeah,
in
Rian
like
will help him up.
Lounging kind of position. He turns to Rian and goes, "What happened to Oberon?"
He got away. There's a candelabra of sorts over on that wall, and no, wait, that was getting down here. There was runes on the end of the room. A teleportation circle, I think. It leads to somewhere. And he went through it.
Gak will kind of be following what Rian's saying, and he gets up and starts not running, but he's walking briskly towards the runes.
Okay, so Rian, you watch Gak get up, start walking briskly towards the runes. At this point, Ulfric is up with Elias as he kind of just kind of taking a surveying the field. Sayori sees Gak walking briskly towards the runes and kind of steps in front of the path, not like right in front of Gak, but Gak is going straight. She's going to stand right there. And she goes, "What are you doing?"
They said there were runes. I can read those. And he says that as he just keeps walking.
Let him pass. He won't do anything stupid.
She puts her hands up and lets him pass. You can also hear from the table that elven figure, Cornelius, is starting to wake up.
Rian would make his way towards him.
Okay. Yeah, you head over towards these runes. Rian, you head over towards... just don't pause the game. Help me do my work for me.
So Gak's going to pull out his book, and he's going to open it to an empty page. Mm-hmm. And from where he's standing, he's going to try to jot down the runes into his book.
Okay. This will take you quite a while. The circle itself is massive.
Yeah.
So
he's going to take his time, and he's going to take multiple deep breaths beforehand because he doesn't want to miss something.
Okay.
And he's also going to just kind of ask the book. He's going to be like, make sure I don't mess up, please. And then he'll start doodling.
Okay. Let me do a thing. Where is it at? I can't find it. Is this it? That's not it. Is it this one? No. Okay. I don't know what dice look like. There it is. Okay. All right, you continue writing down the runes. Rian, you do make it over to Cornelius as he starts to wake up. You do see a gentleman that looks like this, however, very bloodied and not as well cleaned up as this image is. Mm-hmm. But this is Cornelius.
Yeah, I've really done myself a disservice by calling him Cornelius Fudge, because that's who I had in mind.
Well, his last name is Ragwin, if that makes any better. I don't know. Cornelius Ragwin. Okay, cool. You see his eyes start flickering, and as soon as he sees you, he grabs for anything next to him and just tries to hit you. But as soon as he goes to you don't even have to, as his hand just kind of falls limp midway through.
It's okay. We're here to help. You were abducted by Oberyn Blackmore. This is his estate in Eldon.
Who are you?
My name is Rian. You might not know us. We've done work in Valheim and... Valheim? Valamine.
Valamine. There you go.
We've done work in Valamine trying to help people. We've encountered the Blackmoors before. If you can't tell by everything around you, they're vampires, and they have a deadly plan for the people of Eldon and everyone on Ephira. Oberyn, you know.
You see him kind of try to get up, and he also puts his hand to his neck where you can see there is a puncture wound.
Rian will kind of help him up. Yeah, he'll help him up.
I know what he's planning. I was meant to be a part of that plan.
Good thing you're here.
Choice, obviously.
No, of course not.
Where is he now?
I can only assume back to Castle Blackmore. He went through a teleportation circle, that one, and he'll point to the one Gax currently scribing the runes from. He lost his arm in the fighting, so he's wounded, but we lost...
I assume with you all.
Yes, we lost one of our own in the fighting.
Sorry.
And Rian won't say anything to that. He'll just kind of nod and say, but there's work to be done still. Time to mourn later. I'd like to try and get things as settled as quickly as we can. I understand that this is a lot, but whatever I can do to help make sure that proper evidence is given to whatever council there may be so he can be incriminated and action can be taken, I would like to do that. And obviously, I think all of us have a personal interest in seeing this to the end now.
Well, I would like to say that I'd love to get right on all of that, but I am not feeling the best. Do any of you have healing magics?
And he'll kind of look to Basil, who's like currently like she's still like scooping the ashes into the...
You look over into like her body, like she scooped everything into the vial now, and you know, she had clipped it back into her little belt loop, and you just like she's still kneeling there, and you know, her hands are in front of her, they're clenched, and you just see her shaking, and just by that you know she's not sad kind of shaking, she's furious.
I think Rian will kind of note that and look to Sayori and say, Sayori, your health potion, please.
Yeah. And jams it to you.
Take it, and he'll hand it to Cornelius.
He drinks it.
Help.
Oh, helps a little. Your name was what again? I'm sorry.
Rian.
Rian. I know the circumstances of everything are unfortunate. I need to get back to my post. I need to start rounding up things.
Of course. Obviously, I hope that you'll understand that we're not planning to do anything nefarious here. If it makes your job easier, you can head back to your post and we'll search the house for any information, evidence that could further aid our cause.
I appreciate that. Yes, I will be heading back to the stockades. Feel free to take your time here.
Thank you.
If anyone gives you any issues, send them my way. Sayori just says, I can help get him there.
Thank
Unless you want me here.
No, you've done enough. Thank you. And Rian says that very genuinely. You and Elias both. Make sure he gets there safe. Who knows if there are any more vampires in the city.
Let's hope not. And she kind of takes Cornelius as he limps out, and she's helping. She looks back to you, Rian, and just says, "I'm sorry," and continues to walk Cornelius out. And her and Cornelius, she will grab Elias and Ulfric, and they will start heading out.
Rian, as they walk out, will look to his 3 other party members that are in here with them. And he is going to say, addressed to all of them, I love all of you very deeply. I care for all of you. And I love Gideon. Not loved, but I love him. And I don't want you to take this as me being callous or unfeeling. But in this moment, I think we need to think about what Gideon would want us to do. We have a job here we need to finish. Take the time you need, but we need to continue to move. Gideon is not gone forever. No one is finally dead until the ripples they have caused in the world die away. Until the clock wound up winds down, until the wine they made has finished its ferment, until the crops they planted are harvested. The span of someone's life is only the core of their actual existence. Gideon is still with us, and he will be for a long, long, long time. I'm going to search the house for anything that can help our cause. You all can stay here if you'd like. Do what you need to do. But remember, we need to stay strong. This isn't over. Not yet. And with a sigh, Rian will sort of wait for a moment to see if anybody joins him, but if not, he's going to start making his way through the house. He's just nose to the grindstone. He's going to start working.
Gak, he stops temporarily of writing down the rune. I don't know how much he has, but he makes a little mark on the cobblestone so we can pick up where he left off. But he sets his book down and walks over to Rian, and he gives him a hug. And then he says, you're not going alone? And Chip comes out from his jacket and crawls onto Rian's shoulder. He says, Chip will keep you company, and I can also check in on you and make sure that you're okay.
Thank you, Gak.
Basil's gonna stand up, and she looks over to Rian, and she doesn't say anything to him, but she holds up a single finger, and she makes her way over to Yrsa. Is there enough space to where, like, you can reach through and, like, touch her?
I'll say that if you attempt, you'll take 1 point of piercing damage.
That's fine. Basil's gonna stop right in front of Yrsa, and she has this intense stare in her eyes. Something that Yrsa can probably easily tell that it's just full anger. And Basil reaches through, thorns and all, and grasps Yrsa's shoulder. And she leans in a little bit closer. Nothing will be okay until we rip that motherfucker apart. You and I, we're gonna take him down. And I won't stop until he ceases to exist in any plane.
You can feel when you initially touch her, it's almost like when you try to pet a dog who's afraid, like an injured dog, and she kind of shudders away.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an ease of tension, but you can just feel her stiffen, and she's still staring at the ground, but you can feel her just kind of stop shaking when you say what you say, but she doesn't say anything.
I'm going to go with Rianne to find something, anything that can help us. But we're going to get him. And she pulls her arm back and makes her way over to Rianne. Doesn't say anything, doesn't even look at Rianne. She just kind of breezes past him. And you can tell that she has a different demeanor about her. Not a usual confident walk that she has, but you can tell that she has a whole new purpose, and she's not going to let anybody get in her way.
Okay. So you stay down.
Yes.
Okay.
For now.
Okay. The rest of you walk throughout the estate. As you walk up the staircase back into the dining room, you can see that the dining room is destroyed. Everything in here that is breakable has been broken. The glass is broken, shattered on the ground. Chairs, the table, everything. You continue to walk, and you can see the dust that lay underneath a set of plate armor and a sword that would have been Lazarus. The sword, particularly a dark obsidian greatsword. Do any of you take that, or just leave it?
No, Rian would take it. I mean, it's all valuable.
Okay. You continue on, and you walk out of the door into the hallway. The hallway itself, you can see that there was a battle that happened out here, where your friends, your companions that came with you, took out the other individual. You can see that there is not dust on the floor here. There is a lifeless, pale body of a woman with a decapitated head and a stake through the heart. This was the other vampire that, for some reason, I can't remember her name. Lucilla. Lucilla?
Yeah,
Yeah,
It
that
was
one.
like Lucia,
Yep.
or I don't remember.
I think that was her first and last name.
Lucilla.
Yeah.
Lucia.
That way you were covered, you know?
Yep. You continue through, and I will not bore you with the details of going through every room. If you guys are going to search it, you are going to search it and find everything you can.
How gaudy are they, John?
Is it possible to go to like
Good.
Oberon's study?
Yeah, there's a study that also seems there's a study. There's also a what looks like this trophy room as of sorts. Not of animals. You can see that it is of items that he has collected. But to answer your question, Joe, it is extremely gaudy, but everything is black and red.
It's edgy and gaudy. Okay, got it.
Yeah, it's edge gaudy. So you find absolutely no incriminating documents in this
Even
house.
if I were to cast Alana's library rats?
I will say I'm gonna give you everything that you would find in this house without
Okay.
investigation checks and perception, because no one is stopping you from investigating everything and turning over everything.
That's true.
And I assume you guys are going through here just tossing shit.
Oh yeah,
We-
dagger
yeah.
underneath the
Don't
desk,
need
like
to
trying to
keep it
break
pretty.
wood.
Open
Yeah.
couches and
Yeah.
everything. There are various papers of permits for building the bridge, a journal of inventory of shipments heading to Isle Blackmore, which just look like food, basic needs that a city, an island away from everything would need to keep its people healthy. So you find those. You do not find any incriminating documents in this house. You can tell that Oberyn is very thorough when it comes to not being caught. However, you do find total 1,076 platinum pieces and 1,300 gold pieces.
Noise.
Wow.
Write that
Okay.
down.
Okay. I'm gonna add that to the party fund actually.
Yeah,
Party fun.
That's fine. I think it's about
Nice.
time.
Okay, you said
Gideon's memory.
1776 platinum. Is that what you said?
I posted it in the
Oh,
chat.
you did. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, not that much platinum. Okay, I thought it was our.
Well, if you put it to gold, that is 10,000.
Yeah. No.
Gold
That's
pieces.
that's a
Yeah.
lot of gold. Yeah.
You do find a crate that looks like it is holding 10 pounds of arcanite and 10 pounds of kyberite. Arcanite being the crystal that is used for creating magical weapons, and kyberite is the crystal used for creating defensible items.
Oh, yeah.
You find an all-purpose tool, which is
Nice.
it's a tool that can be used to basically
Like a Swiss Army knife?
and pieces of broken iron and steel devices behind that look like they can be repaired in this crate. You also find 2 magical items. They're in this room that looks
Just
like a
real
room. You can
quick.
see-
John, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. How much kyberite and arcanite? It was 10 pounds worth each.
There you go.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
So inside of this trophy room, you can see that there are elaborate swords, but have no magical means whatsoever. You can see there are replicas of things, paintings, but there's also a cape that is held up on top of a mannequin, displayed very well. There's a ruby red cape with gold inlays throughout, and just so that you know what it is a cape of the mountebank. It allows you to cast Dimension Door
Ooh.
Just whatever.
once per day, I think.
Yes, once per dawn, I think is the exact verbiage.
Let me see. It smells faintly of brimstone. While wearing this, you can cast Dimension Door as an action. This property of the cape cannot be used until the next dawn. Yep. Another thing you see inside of a glass case that is locked, that you could easily just take a dagger or a mace or anything and just break it open, is a staff inside. And it is a staff of healing. The Staff of Healing is a staff with 10 charges, and while holding it, you can spend 1 charge to cast one of the following spells using your spell save DC and your spell casting ability modifier. So you can cast through this staff Cure Wounds, Lesser Restoration, and Mass Cure Wounds.
Damn, Basil's gonna grab that. If that's fine, like
yeah.
for the party.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean,
What is
yeah.
it?
I think that Rian would just be like, here you go.
Hell yeah.
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 What does it look like, John?
It looks like, I will pull up the image. It actually looks like it is
It's a weird description.
yeah, right. It looks like these. It's a wooden staff that is carved, and it has like these faces of almost like tiki faces that go up it. It looks like this.
Oh, that's hella cool.
Ooh.
Really creepy, but really cool. Fits Basil, I think.
And then the cape of the mountebank looks like this. I will say you could take the cape to any clothing store and get it dyed if you want to.
Clothier.
Can I stain my
The staff, sure, it's wood.
Hell yeah. That make it
Nice.
not too aesthetic.
Gonna be black
Or
or pink.
The plate armor that you would have found on Lazarus
Yeah.
is mithril plate +1.
Wow.
And, well, the sword, and you don't know what it is.
Wait a minute.
It is a great sword. Oh. But the sword does
It's so
look like this.
funny. Post that. Post that. Oh my god, that thing's badass.
Ooh.
Spice.
For Ryan, who wasn't here, they found a staff of healing, a cape of the mountebank, a bunch of kyberite and arcanite, an all-purpose tool, mithril plate +1, 10,000 something gold, well, more. You also find, I'll say, actually the three of you, Rian, Gak, and Basil, roll a d20.
Well, Gak is still downstairs.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so Rian and Basil.
Chip
roll a
can roll
d20.
something if he wants to.
Okay. Here,
Flat
let me.
Flat.
Well,
What did you roll, Basil?
I am. Roll. Well, not starting off too hot.
Okay, so Rian would find this. Rian, as you're walking through and you walking through the trophy room, you do see up, hanging on the wall, a top hat that looks like something Gideon would have worn.
Aw.
You have to take it.
yeah, Rand would take it.
You have to. No, we have to get Gideon back.
Add top hat to the inventory.
Yeah, just top hat.
Anything special about it? Does it have goggles on it?
No,
Okay.
no, it just reminds you of Gideon.
Mm.
Well, yeah, it is a
Mm.
a black top hat that has gold trim around the bottom. I don't know what it's called. The very right here.
The
Rim?
brim.
No,
brim?
the brim would be this part.
Oh, the
Talk
little
about
base of the boy.
yeah,
Yeah.
the base.
Oh
part.
yeah, like a
That's-
strip of gold fabric. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, Rand will look at that and be like, I can almost see Gideon in it. To himself. He won't let Basil hear that. He's gonna take it and just kind of put it in the bag. Be like, hopefully Basil doesn't see that. That might be a little tricky for her.
That's
Um,
funny.
But that is what you find in this homestead.
Do we find anything? I know you said we'd find everything and you gave us a list, but just in case, do we find anything related to the... It doesn't, I guess it would need to be incriminating, but anything about where the casks of wine are going that were from Woebrook? Damn it.
No. Yeah, Yrsa.
I sent you a message, but I don't know if you saw it, John. Yrsa was going to, after everyone left, after a few more minutes of just kind of like laying down there, she's just, I think unconsciously druid crafting really not good flowers, just around.
Mhm.
Eventually she would get up and she would search like all of the coffins down here.
Mhm.
But obviously if she doesn't find anything, she's just going to destroy every single coffin with like erupting earth. She's just
Yep.
ransacking thing. So
Get it.
just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah,
She
you
would
wouldn't.
be fucked by the time they came back down here.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able. You don't find anything inside
Okay.
the coffins.
All good.
But you definitely do destroy all of them. This coffin right here is obviously not there anymore. So,
For sure.
but you all would eventually come back downstairs. You would see all of the coffins destroyed. Gak, you would finish up drawing the symbol. So it's up to you guys.
Yeah, I would say Yrsa is she's standing now and she has a very distant look in her eye. And she's like looking towards the spot where it happened. But even while she's standing, she looks like she's just encased in vines and thorns all around her. But she's just gonna stand there. She's not gonna say anything.
do the rest of you do?
Basil's just kind of standing by the door waiting for everybody to get ready to go, not talking to anybody.
I think that man, because Kayla, you said Yrsa is still encased, right?
Yes. It's weird. It's like this thin layer, like almost like she put on like a jumpsuit of vines just all around her, and they seem to kind of.
Oh,
like,
but
be
she's getting
growing.
up and leaving. Okay.
She's like standing. She's standing up now. Yeah.
Okay.
Gak will probably go stand next to Rian. Just kind of look at him as Rian is thinking.
I think as the three of them are standing there, Rian will say, "When we were searching the house, I found something." And he'll sort of reach into the bag and he'll pull out the hat. Obviously, this didn't belong to Gideon. But I think we can all agree that, in a way, it reminds us of him. Most of this path that we've been on, some individual or entity has told us that it's fate or destiny that guides us to this point. I think this hat, this echo of Gideon, points us in our next direction. I don't think Gideon's done on this earth, and I'm not willing to give up that easily. There's only one person that I know that could potentially have the power to do anything about this. I propose that if Cornelius needs nothing else of us in the city for a few days, that we go to Lady Gemcloak and we see if there's a chance that she could bring him back. We can use the port glass to get to her, and we can use the port glass to return here quickly. But I'm not willing to give up on Gideon yet. You all don't need to say anything. I understand it's a lot to take in. But for now, I think we should leave this place. Try and sleep. And we can make a decision later this night or in the morning.
You all standing down here would hear clattering and clanging upstairs as you kind of hear from a distance. Can I make this?
Hello? Where is everyone at? Guys, we have to go! Hello?
You hear Dio calling up.
If we have the port glass, Gak will turn to Rian and say, "Do you want to use the port glass to get all of us somewhere so we can sleep, and then we can use the port glass tomorrow to go to Gemcloak?"
I think we can, yes, go back to the Sapphire Chalice or somewhere within the city. I need to double check with Cornelius that we can leave for a day, and he doesn't need us for anything.
Okay. Can we also help Dio get out?
Yes, I was just about to say that.
You hear upstairs.
Holy shit! What happened to her?
So if Rian wants to go talk to Cornelius, they could probably start heading upstairs.
Mhm.
Presumably, is Cornelius in the house still? I think.
Cornelius is left with Sayoriel and Frick
Mm,
back to the stockades.
okay.
Rian can ride there. He's pretty quick on Hikari. He's not wanting to stay long. He just wants to make sure that if the party leaves for a day, that they won't need them for anything.
Okay. Gak will keep Chip with Rian, and he'll hold on to the port glass, and he'll say, I can get Dio if you want to meet us at the Sapphire Chalice.
Okay. We'll do that.
Okay, see you soon.
And he'll look towards Basil and Yrsa and just nod. And kind of linger for a moment to see if they say anything that he wants them to share or anything, but if not, he'll depart.
Basil stays quiet.
Yrsa just stares at you, Rian, but she says nothing.
All right. And he'll nod, and he will head outside. He'll mount up, and he'll ride to the stockade.
As you do walk up, you can see
Hikari, I
that
choose you.
As you walk up, you can hear the sound of birds calling in the distance, where it seems like the sky is clear. It is midday at this point. It is a beautiful day outside. As you can see the light streaming in from the broken glass from the estate of Oberyn. And you do see...
Oh, hey, how'd it go?
You see Dio. You see Dio as soon as he sees your face. He goes from this jovial, happy to, oh,
We lost Gideon.
I'm sorry.
Rian will nod and say, it's all right. We'll get him back. They're waiting for you. They'll take you somewhere safe. Thank you, Dio.
Yeah, so he's gonna walk past you and just kind of pat you on the shoulder and just, sorry. And then he walks down. So, Rian, by yourself, correct?
With Chip.
Chip. Okay.
Got my +1.
So, you start making your way out. You do pass by the Sadi. As she sees you ride past, you can see, as you are riding past, down through. Are you galloping, or are you kind of trotting? Like, how suspicious are you being?
No, he's trying not to be suspicious, but he's definitely not, He's a man on a mission, but he's not on the run,
Yeah, as you ride out of the Emerald Grove district, you can see in the distance a plume of smoke from where Diho had most likely set things on fire. You do not see any guards around you as you are trotting through. You can see any of the ones you do see are making their way towards the fire. So, I will ask, this is any of the party doing anything as Rian rides towards the stockades?
Gak is kind of heading up the stairs, and he turns to Basil and Yrsa and says, "Hey, follow me, guys." And he just kind of starts to head up the stairs and starts calling out for Dio.
I'm here. As he kind of just waits for you to come up. He doesn't walk towards you.
Cool. Do Basil and Yrsa follow, I'm assuming?
Yrsa follows. She's she's moving strangely. It's almost as if a tree could move. That's how she's walking. but she's coming.
Basil took a second, but after seeing Yrsa start to move, she starts heading after Gak as well.
So we all get up with Dio, and Gak goes, "Hey Dio, we're all gonna take this portal thing to the Sapphire Chalice, and we're all gonna sleep. You can stay there and sleep with us. You'll be safe. People won't find you there. And tomorrow we're going to save our friend."
That's fine. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. Worry about yourself.
Okay. Well, you can at least take the thing with us to the Sapphire Chalice, and then you can make your way from there. But that's not where you blew stuff up, is it?
No, this is not where I did that.
Okay, good. So it'll take you far away, and they won't think you'll be over there.
All right.
Hey, Dio.
Yes,
Thank you.
of course.
And
he
Gak
just
takes the
Yeah.
port key thing and tries to remember how to do it.
Yeah, the pieces of glass form into the mirror that then forms into a portal into the Sapphire Chalice. As you all walk through, and the glass breaks and shoves itself through the portal with the box shutting in front of you. The rest of you are within the Sapphire Chalice.
Probably Gak would have tried to take it to that room where we had the meeting, because he thinks that's the most secure place.
Yeah.
And he also would have made sure that everyone got through the portal before he went.
Okay. I will say, as this is happening and all of you are doing this, you get to the Sapphire Chalice. Rian, you are trotting along. After about 20 or so minutes, you do see darkened clouds kind of obscuring the sky as you start to hear. Oh, what does that button do? Oops. Rain.
I love this rain.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a downpour. You see people starting to, as you were trotting through, Rian, you see people quickly gathering their things, running inside, and doing all this. Well, how does Rian react? Does he go faster or just...
Yeah, he's gonna look up, and I think now that he's not around people, that wall is gonna kind of come down a bit, and for most of this ride, he's gonna look really pissed, and I think he's gonna look up at the dark skies, and he's just going to say, "Come on, you count. I'm alone. Send someone, I dare you." And he's going to move at the exact same pace because he's not afraid.
You move through the city of Eldon, and I will take you here. It takes you about 35 minutes at your pace to get to the stockades. You do not encounter anything. You do not hear anything. You are alone with your thoughts. As eventually you make it to the stockades. You can see that there's a little bit of bustling around the stockades at this moment. As you see one of the guards, that they look more ready and armed at this point as they look to you and say, "Halt! What is your business here?"
"I'm here to speak with Cornelius. We were the ones who saved him from the Blackmore estate." I was. Sorry.
You hear down the hall, "Let him in, please. You'll have to leave your horse outside."
Rian will get off and just looking at the guy, he's going to pat Hikari's neck and absorb Hikari into the bead and then walk past him.
What? the fuck? Just
I'm a
you walk
magical
inside.
warrior, bitch.
You walk inside and you can see that they're with the door wide open. You'd seen the door before with the name Cornelius Regwin, Lawmaster. It is wide open, and inside you see him sitting down, writing, holding himself up, but you also see that there's a cleric of Palor right there with him, casting magic and healing him as he stops and says, "Well, that was fast. Did you find anything?"
Nothing incriminating. Sadly, it seems like he knew how to hide his nefarious activities.
I don't think that we actually need anything.
I think
Proof
the
enough.
basement is enough, yes.
Yes.
I do come to ask a question, though. To make a long story short, over the course of our adventure, my companions and I, we have made several powerful friends, one of which we believe has the chance, perhaps, to return Gideon to us. It would require us to leave the city for a day, perhaps, but we would be back. Is there anything that we would miss that would harm the process? If not, we can stay until that's done, but I know that... No. Okay.
Take care of yours and your own. That is fine. The process is moving quickly, but it's still fresh. I am going to be meeting with the council today. Well, their people to gain an audience. If you can, it's not required. If you can, you and your party, can you be back tomorrow?
Tomorrow at what time? We were planning on leaving tomorrow morning. Thought it'd be best to give them time to rest.
Fine. Then go ahead and make it 2 days from now.
We can do that.
All right. I would ask that you accompany me in this conversation with the council. You said you've been following Oberyn and know quite a bit of information, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Well, with his estate, my neck and wounds, and what I've heard, along with you, say we have a good shot at turning this on him.
I would hope so.
But do not rush. I can make time.
All right. Thank you.
Of course. And thank you. I know that things are still fresh and happening. But Eastvaria owes you a debt. I owe you a debt. Thank you.
Rian will nod. And then provided there's nothing else, he'll head outside, resummon Hikari, and then move on.
Okay. As you head to the Sapphire Chalice, the other of you can hear the tavern is bustling above you. However, unfortunately, you all are not in the mood. What are you all doing as you walk through the tavern?
Ursula's immediately, as soon as they bam back in, she's just gonna go outside.
Okay.
She does not want to be indoors at all. So without saying anything, she's just gonna walk out the front door.
Okay. You walk out the front door, and the rain is pouring at this point, and you kind of just sit there. Let it wash over you. The other two?
Is Dio heading out?
Dio will look to you and say, "Is there anything you need from me?"
Just stay safe, and I'll be in touch.
Okay.
Thank you, Dio.
And he's going to look at you and give you a hug.
Gak hugs back, almost too hard.
Ooh. He's gonna kind of get out of the hug and like pull you back and like look up at you because he's not as tall as you, and just say, "I'm here if you need to talk, of course."
Thank you.
I am truly sorry. I hope you know, but it's going to be okay.
It is. We're gonna make sure of it.
I know. I'll be around. I won't leave Eldon.
Okay.
And he will just walk out, leaving Basil and Gak behind.
Gak will kind of look at Basil and what's Basil doing?
During all of that, Basil will have walked over to the bar, sat down, ask for an ale, actually probably 2, and then wait there until they give it to her, and she's just gonna carry it up to her room when she gets it.
He sees Basil, goes over to the bar, and he opens up the door. Is Yrsa nearby? Like, did she keep walking, or did she just kind of go outside?
I think she just walked outside. And she's just
Okay.
kind of standing adjacent to the tavern.
Um,
Not in the street or anything, just next to it.
Gackle, he'll look at Yrsa. He'll say,
It's gonna be okay, Yrsa. I love you.
and then he is going to cast Minor Illusion and make a flower appear on the ground in front of her. And then he'll just shut the door of the tavern and go over to the bar next to Basil.
Oh, that's so sweet. She's so bitchy right now. Like, I get so bad.
She might not even see it.
Yes.
She doesn't
But-
acknowledge it. But Caleb
Okay.
thinks that's so sweet. But you're supposed to acknowledge it.
Gak didn't stick around long enough to see if she would acknowledge.
Good.
So, for the sake of time, I will ask. Well, Rian, as you make your way back to the Sapphire Chalice at this point, you would see Yrsa standing outside. Is there anything you do in the moment?
I think he will dismount from Hikari and reabsorb Hikari into the ring. And he'll kneel down next to her and say, I'm sorry.
He doesn't know.
Yeah, that's Rian, because Rian's only ever been on the opposite side of this.
Good luck.
And he won't say anything.
Yrsa will say something.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. Mute.
As you kind of sit there, struggling to find things to say, she is looking at the flower. Sigh. Jacket. Do you know why it rains?
Why?
Because the earth, Athera, the plants, the animals, they're thirsty. And they need it to grow. That is one reason. But you know the real reason why it rains, Rian. Do you?
No.
It's because the gods are weeping. They are weeping because of the hate that their children breed. They are weeping as we destroy every beautiful thing that they have created. And she's gonna cast Druidcraft to destroy the flower in front of her. And they cry. And they cry. And there's nothing we can do about it at all. But we just sit here. This feeds no one. It feeds nothing. It drowns us, Rian. I am tired of drowning. You can go now. I said you can go!
The only thing I'll say is after the rain settles, look at all the beauty that rain creates.
Do not speak to me like that. Do not try to use my words against me, Rhea.
Your words helped me.
Words mean nothing.
You know that's not true.
I know it's so true, Rian, and I learned that the hard way. Do not speak to me. Do not speak to me right now. I have said my piece, and you think on it. You can leave.
Very well. And Rian will get up and walk away because he knows that she needs space right now.
So, I will ask if there's anything the rest of you would like to do before this day comes to a close.
When Gak went back inside after doing the minor illusion for the flower, he went up to Basil as she was waiting to get her drinks. And he doesn't sit down. He just kind of stands next to her. And he says,
Hey, Basil. If you still want to be roommates, I promise I won't speak.
She sits there for a second, takes a long swig of the ale in front of her, and slaps it down hard enough to where you see some of it slosh over the side and onto the counter. I love you, Gak. I truly do. But I need to be alone. And she takes another long swig. I think I'll sleep by myself tonight. I hope you understand.
Gak just nods. But he doesn't move, he just stands there. And pretty much waits for Basil to leave.
Gak, I may not leave here for a while. And I'm not in the right mindset. And I don't want to be mean. Because the next person who asks if I'm okay or if I need anything, they're getting punched in the face.
Then you probably shouldn't stay at the bar.
I need this, Gak.
And Gak will lean over to the bar. And he'll say, Can I have, this many ales?
Of course. Um, any particular you want, or just in
Oh,
ale?
good one.
All right, I got it. Kind of turns around and looks up to the many casks that have taps within them. Right, that one will do. And you see she taps one above, and you see the casks actually magically switch places. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll see if you need any more after that. There might be a cutoff right there, but
That's okay. How much?
yeah, that'll be. And you see her look up past you. On the house.
Okay.
And Gackle laid down a gold piece.
She takes it, and you feel in your pocket a gold piece place itself.
Oh.
Gak just kind of he looks over and kind of smirks a little bit. But he
Basil
grabs
is
the
down
five-
both of her beers
Yeah.
by now.
He
She
grabs-
reaches over, slides over one.
She
yeah,
grabs
he
it.
grabs
Slides one back to you.
Gak grabs the 5 ales and he says,
Basil, these are for you. Let's get you to bed.
Jack,
and he just starts to take them up.
Basil doesn't move.
Gak takes it all the way up to Basil's room and sets them in there.
Basil the bar tender does not bother you, and every time that you ask for a drink, you get one.
That's so nice.
I will say, if you want, there can be an NPC that runs up to you and asks how you are, and you can punch them if you would like to.
Can I?
You know, for self-gratification if you want.
I do want.
Okay. There is a gentleman that walks over to you, puts a ale down and says, "So, how are you?"
Basil slowly looks over at him, kind of gives this "I hate you" kind of smile, and out of the blue, like, whips her right arm around, like, not even a full punch, like, her whole arm goes like a semicircle and just plows into his nose.
Yeah. You hear a nose crack and break, and you hear throughout the tavern, "Oh!"
She reaches down and grabs his collar, casts Cure Wounds, and then she pushes him away. "Get the fuck out of my face."
And he just runs off crying. The tavern goes back to normal.
She sits back down, takes another swig.
So, is there anything anyone else would like to do during this day before it is over?
I do think Gak will be waiting outside of Rian's door,
Okay.
waiting for Rian to get back.
Rian, you get back, and Gak is there.
Yak.
Hello. Do you want to be roommates tonight?
Aww.
I think that'd be very nice.
Okay. I've already placed an alarm outside of yours and Basil's room.
Is he trying to keep tabs on us?
Hell yeah, he is.
He always puts his alarms outside of everybody's room, but he makes point to
Aw.
note it this time.
It's like a parent trying to be like, "Are my kids sneaking out? Don't do any devious shit."
Okay. So, the night ends and a new dawn approaches. You all may click on the long rest button It is still raining.
Just heard Kayla go, oh.
That's 6 HP. No, yeah, okay. I'm sorry, Ryan. Okay, not you. I know you dead. Sobs.
Man.
Yeah.
Long rest does not cure dust.
Oh my god.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It's right. Okay. So let me just do a couple things. All right. Seekers of Insomnia. You wake
Is
up the next
Basil
morning.
is Basil at the bar in the morning too?
She fell asleep at the bar. She did not go into her room. But she's awake.
Yeah. Rian wakes up early as he always does. And he will do the same ritual he's done every day for the past 4.5 years. And he will go down. He will see Basil there. He will, because it's tea he makes, and he will set one tea next to Basil and lightly tap her on the shoulder and say, I made this for you. Hope you enjoy it. And set it down next to her. And he won't press any
Turns her
further.
head. Yeah.
You can
She
see he
gets
has a
little
second
nod,
one in his
but that's
hand.
it.
And he looks, and you can tell that he sees you, and he's not walking away because he's not acknowledging you. He sees you, and Rian will be back in a second. We'll get to, but he will go up to where Yrsa's. I'm assuming where now Basil and Yrsa would be sharing, and wherever Yrsa is staying, and he would knock on the door, and he would say,
He's still outside.
"Oh, she's still inside."
Damn, girly
Okay.
girls just.
I was gonna say Gak probably woke up a couple times throughout the night and being like, the alarm has not been set."
Rian, I will say as you walk outside, because technically you got a long rest, Yrsa. You did have to
sorry.
sleep at some
Yeah.
point.
She
But-
slept outside.
You see Yrsa in the same position she was. However, around her and wrapped is vines and thorns, kind of keeping her aloft, held in place, so she could sleep.
Mhm.
You're so kind. She's
And
awake. now, though.
honestly, Rian, you would walk outside and there have been patrons just looking like, the fuck is that? Like,
New lawn decor.
Rian would walk outside, see her there, and he would set the tea down next to her and say, "This is one tradition that'll never break. You can drink it, you cannot. But just like me, the tea's there for you if you need it." And he'll
We have
stand up.
work to do today.
We do, you're right.
And she walks away inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
He will not do anything with the tea because she decided she
She
didn't need it.
will stop at the door and she will look back and she'll say, "You had a plan, right?
I did.
Then let's go." And she'll walk inside.
Queen. This is not Rachel condoning behavior. This is Basil condoning.
What's
Okay.
Basil to be proud of her?
so,
Yeah.
Seekers of Insomnia, you gather yourself. Where are you headed?
Yeah, I think that obviously asking Marithil if we could borrow the private area just because the information we're going to talk about is sensitive.
Yeah, Marithil without question. As soon as you come up to him and ask, he just says, No. You don't need to ask. I can read the room. It's fine. Do what you need to.
Since Yrsa and Basil are already down there, he would look to the two of them and say, if you two want to head in, Gak and I will meet you down there. I just need to go get him real quick.
Ran, you head up.
Yeah.
To get Gak.
And he'll walk in the room. What's Gak doing this morning?
Gak is sitting on the bed, and he has his page open to the rune, the teleportation rune that Oberyn used, and he's just staring at it and studying it.
We're going to be meeting down in that private room to talk about what the next steps are. How to maybe bring Gideon back.
Okay. Gak closes the book and gets up and just starts to walk, and he stops right when he gets next to Rian.
Gak, I do want to say something real quick, though.
Yes.
I know that we have a job to do. We have a mission to keep in mind. Cooler heads tend to prevail in situations like that. But I don't want you to stop yourself from feeling anything you might be. I want you to know that I am angry. I am sad. I am frustrated. Part of me is destroyed. You don't need to bottle that up. And neither do I, but I don't want you to feel like you have to wall yourself off.
You know, everything you said is how I feel too. But I don't feel like I'm stopping myself from feeling things. Because I know we're gonna get him back. And some of us don't feel that way. Some of us are angrier. And that's not saying that you and I aren't angry. But if it helps people to make sure things still happen, someone's got to be the person to make sure things still happen. And I think that's what we're supposed to do right now.
Rian will smile. Well, that is very wise and sageful advice.
Well,
I just
before
wanted-
we head down...
Yes.
Oh, no, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, I just wanted to make sure. That's it.
Well, I'm glad you're making sure. Speaking of making sure, neither Yrsa or Basil went to their room last night, but I had Chip go out, and I saw that they were both being sad in the places we saw them being sad last. So, I need to go get 5 beers from Basil's room so we can dump them.
Here, I'll help.
Okay.
All right.
Rian so casually is like, oh, okay.
There is a window, so you guys could just open the window and
Dump them. And we
What
go
the
down
hell? My cabbages.
my garden.
My
So,
garden. Oh no, we're
we-
so sorry. Not again.
But
Why'd you move your garden here?
Gak goes down to the tavern. He sets the 5 glasses on there. Goes, mm-mm. And then he just kind of walks away.
As Gak walks away, Rian's gonna go. Did he pay for those.
They're fine. Don't worry about it.
Let me just, for my own conscience, and Rian will put, he'll put 5 gold down.
No.
Nope, I insist.
You need to take that back. No, Merithil specifically stated that it was on the house.
Okay, consider it a tip.
If I take your money,
right.
I will get in trouble.
It's a tip. All right, have a good day. And Rian's gonna walk away.
All right.
Yeah, pocket it, girl. You know?
As someone who's been put into that position, you were the bad guy there, Joe.
So,
as someone who's also been in that position, I disagree with you.
All right, well, you've worked at different places then.
So
go
ahead. Nope.
I was just gonna say, as they come into the room, Ursa would stand and say, "All right, Rian, tell us of your plan."
Right. We use the port glass, and we go to Lady Gemcloak. We ask if there's any way that she can bring him back. She's incredibly powerful. She is an ancient being, and there's probably something she can do. I can assume that it's not going to be as easy as, "Can you please do this?" And she says yes. I'm sure there's going to be some type of trial or ritual.
And we will do what is necessary.
Exactly.
Lady Gemcloak likes stories.
Yes.
So everyone be prepared to tell a story.
Then let's go.
Plenty to choose from.
Okay. So, I assume you will be using the port glass to get yourselves there.
I thought we'd all hop on the back of Hikari, honestly. A little family road trip, you know? That'll make things better.
When Gak's holding the port glass, he turns to Rian and he goes, Should I send a message to Lady Gemcloak to let her know we're coming?
Joe just had that exact same idea, and you can see Rian was about to say something to Gak, and he just nods.
Okay. And Gak casts sending. Hey, Lady Gemcloak. It's me, Gak. You probably knew that. We are about to come to you. We need help. We have stories. Thank you.
There is almost an immediate response.
Hello, yeah. I'm waiting. He spoke to me. I await your arrival.
She says we're good to go. And then he
What a
just
goat.
opens up
All
the
right.
glass.
Hell yeah, dude.
Okay. With that, the port glass is used, the mirror created, and through the mirror. Where are you porting? Outside or inside?
Inside?
You're muted.
Oh, you're muted, Nick. Oh.
Hey, John, how do I
Whoopsie.
add that staff to my...
I got you.
Okay, thanks.
When we opened the big doors on the outside, it was immediately the chamber, right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably outside for courtesy.
Yeah.
Even though she knows we're coming.
And give a little knock before we go in. It's only nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you travel across the continent. That is not what I wanted at all. Sorry.
That was sick, though.
I know, but it's not what I wanted. It's okay. Here we go. As you step through, you see the giant crystalline castle of Lady Gemcloak. You all take a deep breath as you start to walk in. The cold air coming from Eastvaria that is almost humid and warm is blistering. It hurts your lungs as you breathe in. Then eventually you see the doors in front of you open up, and you walk in to the castle interior and throne room of Lady Gemcloak.
Hey, Lady Gemcloak.
I forgot how beautiful.
You see,
Pitiful.
you see the gargantuan white crystalline four-winged dragon resting with their arms crossed underneath their elongated neck and head, looking in your direction.
Welcome back.
Hello. I wish we could return under happier circumstances.
I am aware of the circumstance.
Then I'm sure you may already know what we are coming to ask then.
I do. Are you willing to sacrifice, gain back your friend?
And Rianne will look to everybody. This is a
Yes.
Hazel nods.
Yes, it's me, Gak.
and
Hi, Gak.
Rianne will say, I know that Gideon's death was not a natural one. It is not one that can be recovered from easily, aside from divine intervention or greater powers. And I've learned one thing about this world is that power and gifts like that are not freely given. So, I would like to offer something to you. I know you deal in stories. Stories and tales are what matter most to you. I would like to offer you this for the ceremony, if you would perform it. And Rianne will take his sword out of his scabbard and kneel and present it as he says, this sword, it's a weapon of destruction. It hurts, it cuts, it kills. The sword is full of memories of my people. I would sacrifice 1,000 of these sabers just for one more day with my friend. Hopefully this is enough for you to consider.
The gesture is recognized. However, you may keep your blade, as the sacrifice is not material. In order to bring your friend back, great magics must be used. Magics I have not used for thousands of years. The Astral Sea has spoke to me. The ley line and all of your destiny connected is something that the world and planes around me. I would be doing a disservice every plane and universe if I do not assist. However, do the magic. Yes, I will need story. But this is not. Stories I will record for my own purposes. I need story that will help call out to your friend's soul, wherever it may be, to return to the prime material, along with magical essence from each of you. I will not be the only one casting this spell, so the sacrifice is your vitality. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes, my friend Cat.
I think I understand, but I wouldn't say it's clear.
I will need you to tell a story while trying to siphon your magic to me.
Oh, does that mean that we're getting rid of our magic?
No. You will be weakened. Temporarily, however.
Okay.
There
It's clear.
is another stipulation. This magic may not work. There is a chance to fail. There is also a chance that I will never be able to cast this magic again. Prepare yourselves for whatever outcome the gods and destiny has for you and your friend. Are you ready?
Gak kind of turns and looks at the group, and he doesn't stop on anyone in particular, and then he just kind of turns around and he goes,
I'm ready.
Yes.
I'm ready too.
She looks
Basil
towards
nods.
Basil.
Basil nods.
Place yourself within the pool, within the four corners.
And I will place your tokens for dramatic effect.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Gak would probably walk to the furthest away, just so Basil and Ursa don't have to walk a bunch.
Oh my god.
Such a gentleman.
Lady Gemcloak. Make sure my voice mod's not still on. It's not. Okay, good.
Lady Gemcloak.
Lady Gemcloak walks gracefully into the pool. As you all walked into the pool, you noticed that there was a rippling effect throughout it as you walked through it, as the water moves through your legs and feet. However, as Lady Gemcloak does, there is no ripple effect whatsoever. At this point, she looks up towards the ceiling, covered in stars, nebulas, and galaxies, moving and shifting around. She looks up, and you see a perplexing look on this dragon's face.
That is odd. Your friend is not in one place. He's in the astral sea.
Do we know how that could have happened? Is that that's not normal, right?
Is that a bad thing? I don't remember.
So what storybooks and lore tells you is that when someone dies, their soul passes on to either the realm of the god that they worship, or if they are a bad person, the realm of those that are turned into demons or devils, or sent to limbo, which is the in-between. Normally, a soul travels to one single realm to live out the rest of its eternity. The astral sea, as known, is an encapsulation of all of the realms. That is where the planes of existence are.
Does that mean that it'd be easier to get him back? I know that the different
Means
planes
it's
are
going to be hard.
okay.
But it's still possible.
Yes,
Correct.
it is. Your friend seems to...
You see another look of perplexity.
There's only one reason why his soul and consciousness is in the astral sea. And that is the same reason that if I was to die, my soul and consciousness would also go to the astral sea. Your friend is not from this plane of existence.
Yo.
Your friend
What?
is from the astral sea.
What?
He's an alien all along.
Hey. Hot damn.
You see her look up once again and kind of take her hand and run it across the galaxies and stars, and you see them start to split and part, and you see these blips start to light up like North Stars all over the ceiling.
There he is.
And you see hundreds of these blips.
This will be more endurance than I imagined. Be strong. This will take time. It's still doable. We'll start.
With whoever wants to start first. Alright. Yours is not going first.
Cat
John,
can
maybe
go
if you-
first.
Okay.
Okay. You see, as she starts to pull things from the ceiling, you see her start to pull these small stars and particles from the ceiling.
Start your story now.
And you see this magic. You see the pool start to ripple and shake around her feet, around everyone, as she starts to pull from the ceiling. You see these lines of magic start to connect to each one of you and her as her body starts to glow. All of your bodies have this aura of glowing as she starts to try and pull each piece of Gideon's consciousness from the astral sea. This is a wish spell she is casting. However, this is a resurrection ritual by rules. Whereas though usually there's only 3 that come to the table, all 4 of you will have to say something to coerce Gideon's soul and consciousness back. There is a chance of failure with Wish. Knowing that, I will say, I will not tell you the initial DC, but with each successful roll you make, the DC lowers, and I will then roll a single dice at the end, and that will determine if Gideon returns or not. Yes, Yrsa.
Do you want us to roll like blind DM rolls to you? Do you want us to roll in person, how we normally roll? How do you want the
can-
rolls?
You can roll in person. It doesn't
Okay,
matter.
I didn't know what you wanted. All right.
You guys will not know the DC once
yeah,
I roll.
I just didn't know if you wanted like blind our rolls or something. Okay.
Yep.
Like a death save. Okay.
So, we will start. As the magic starts to emanate in the room, you feel the coldness around you subside. As all you feel, this is the most magic you have ever felt, Gak. Magic surging through your body. You can feel, each one of you, your essence of the ley lines of arcane being pulled, siphoned into Lady Gemcloak to pull off this wish spell. Gak, you may start to try to coerce Gideon back.
Gak puts his one of his hands on his book, and the other hand he almost tries to grab onto the magical tether, just because he thinks this is going to make the connection stronger, and he just holds on to it and then he starts.
So, Gideon told me that I was more magicful than I knew. He said my magic could help change the world, and I did not believe him. If I was that magicful, I could have done something. I think that Gideon and I are kind of opposite people. Gideon is really smart, and I'm not so smart. I can feel how other people feel. Gideon couldn't always do that so well. I'm here. My mom told me lots of stories when I was a kid. The Pirates of the Crystal Port, The Boy Who Could, The Caterpillar. Listen, guys, I'm cock full of stories. But there's one story that's been in my head for a little bit now. Cat Groll, the Ugly Dwarf Boy. Now, Cat Groll grew up in a dwarf town, as lots of dwarves do, but from a tiny age, he was made fun of. He didn't grow up like the other dwarves. Young dwarves get beards very young, and Cat Groll didn't have one. Cat Groll couldn't drink lots of beer without throwing Chuck up. All the other dwarves made fun of him and called him Cat Groll, the Ugly Dwarf Boy. They would push Cat Groll down and call him names like Stinky and Baldface, which is especially mean because the story never mentioned him being stinky. They just called him that to be extra mean because they're jerks. But Cat Groll finally got tired of it. He decided to wear armor. When he wore the armor, he could cover his face. No one knew he didn't have a beard. No one knew he couldn't drink a lot, and no one knew he was stinky. He became his own thing, but no matter how hard he covered up, he still felt bad. Even though he wouldn't take off the armor, he knew what he looked like, and he felt bad because of it. And now that I think about it, him not taking off the armor probably made him a little stinky. I forget a lot of the details, but the main part of the story, Cat Groll traveled a lot, and he saw a lot of different people because he just wanted to help. No one made fun of him for his appearance, because he was in the armor. But one day he came to a group of people, and these people, no, it couldn't be. Were they beardless dwarves? Well, long story short, they weren't. They were halvings. And it turns out that Cat Groll traveled a lot, and he was a halving. He wasn't a dwarf after all. And his whole life he felt like he stood out and that people were scared of the way he looked. But it turns out he didn't look weird. He just hadn't found the people that he looked like. Now, my family and I went to the big city 1 or 3 times. And every time I thought that people were looking at me. And I used to think that this story was about me. But I realized that Gideon and me aren't opposite people as much as I thought we were. We both are nice. We both have names that go G. And we both thought we were weird, but we aren't. We just hadn't found the people who didn't think so too. Gideon had finally got comfy with who he is, and I think that he needs to live a life with people who love him the way he is.
Okay. Gak, I would like you to roll a performance check.
Okay.
Okay. Gak, as the words leave your mouth, you feel a sensation of magic drawn out once again towards Lady Gemcloak. You feel exhausted after helping in this ritual. You take 1 point of exhaustion. However, you do see, as this is happening, Lady Gemcloak is pulling a star after star, and she is placing them together in her hand, creating this small gathering of stars and nebulas. We move to the next person.
Rian will go.
Okay. Rian.
He'll look up at the constellations and say, I don't know if this day meant anything to you, Gideon. It was maybe we had known each other for a week, perhaps. You had made remarks about my weapon, and you asked to see it. And no one in my life ever since I found the sword, I didn't trust anyone with it. I felt like nobody truly understood what it was and how important it was to me. The weight that was in that sword. The duty that rested on my shoulders to wield it. You did. You, more than anyone, understood the weight one carries. With anything, whether it be my sword, the cloaks you made, the way you helped the people in Sangsa, you did those things because you understood that helping those people, making the world a better place, that was the way. That was the way to make this world better. There are some people that refuse to change or adjust. They will stand firm and they will break. The oak that fights the wind is the one that breaks, but the willow that bends is the one that survives. I'm trusting fate, destiny, or perhaps I'm running against it. I don't know. But this world needs a man like you who can look at its problems and who doesn't just reach out with empathy, but with logic. Someone who can truly understands problems and how to fix them. I have so many problems, and not enough Gideons. And he'll smile and laugh a little bit and reach into his bag and say, also, I found this hat that I think you'd really like. He'll just kind of hold there.
Okay. The magic surging through your body. Make a persuasion check.
Okay. Come on, Rian dice. That is a dirty 20.
Okay. Who's next?
Yrsa can go.
Okay.
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry. No, go ahead.
Brienne, as you say those words, and the arcana is pulled from your body, you take 1 point of exhaustion. Okay. Yrsa.
As she kind of reaches forward, this magical tether, I would say just kind of up to her elbows and kind of like her face, those vines retract slowly. They're still protecting the rest of her, but they kind of retract as she reaches forward. I used to think that he thought I didn't hear him. When we first met, he was so quiet, so reserved, almost like he was afraid to say the wrong thing or push us away. He was not used to being around so many people. It was almost like he was hidden away behind that mask. But I always heard Gideon. I always saw through that mask. Always. One of my favorite memories is the first time he mumbled under his breath, "Kindness is not a weakness." I smiled and I appreciated the sentiment, but it wasn't until later that I realized it was more than just a compliment. It was recognition. It was Gideon's way of reminding me of the own mask that I often hid behind. But he could see through it. He always could. I believe it was that same night when he gifted me these singing stones. They would emit sounds of nature, sounds of home. It's the small things, the thoughtfulness. He is always thinking of others. Gideon has so many colors to show the world. He just needed to know that he could. He is the very definition of reliable. He is like a great willow. Turns to Rian. Rooted deep with strength and intelligence. The day he walked in without that mask, I knew he had found the strength to share with the rest of the world that vibrancy. He came alive that day, and we were introduced to the real him, and I was so proud. I heard him that day, too. The day we had to say goodbye. He, too, spoke of love. He has so much love to give, and for years there were those who tried to deprive him of that. And when he said it, I know he meant it, and I know he knew. I heard. I always did. What is a garden without its great tree? That is not a story I wish to tell. Instead, I wish to live out a story with our great tree, connecting us all with its strong roots. A garden of friendship, prosperity, of love. That's the story I wish to give, and that's the story I wish to live. And Yrsa will give as much magic as she possibly can.
Okay. Make an Arcana check.
The natural 20, Jonathan. I'll
Okay.
take a picture of it.
I believe you.
Okay. I don't know.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's a okay. +2 is my Arcana mod.
So 32.
God.
Yrsa, as you pour in your magic, using always, you use nature as your source. At this point, you instead try to pull from the weave itself, using the kind of magic Gideon would use. You take 2 points of exhaustion. And last, but not least, Basil.
Basil walks forward and she looks up at Jim Cloak first. And then she closes her eyes and tries to bring a picture of Gideon to her face. Gideon, this isn't a story or a memory about you, but I think it's something that you need to hear. I never liked swimming, you know. The idea of going into some vast ocean with no idea what lurks beneath is kind of a nightmare to me. Maybe it's because it's full of the unknown, and the unknown can be scary. But when I was younger, way too young to understand most things, I went swimming with my family one day. And I was a pretty new swimmer. I wasn't too confident in my ability to stay above water. But I slapped this fake confidence on my face anyway, because I thought if I told myself I was strong enough, I actually would be. But that's not what happened. I went out a little too far and got swept away in a current. I wasn't warned of currents. I wasn't warned of what could happen when one ventures out too far. I was thrown in and expected to adapt. And I could hardly keep my head above water, and my limbs grew tired from the constant thrashing. The current continued to pull me farther until my family became ants in my vision. Salty water splashed in my eyes, making me disoriented, and I thought I was going to die. But I knew that if I didn't do anything, I definitely would. So I forced my eyes to remain open, to push past the stinging. I forced my arms to keep me afloat, to push past the pulled muscles. And I forced my mind to remain focused, to push back the intense fear. And the ocean wanted to push me into oblivion, but I did not let it. I fought. I forced it to obey me, to take me where I needed to go. Eventually the sand came back into view, and I could make out the faces of my family. Their expressions remained passive, and I knew I didn't have it, as if they didn't know I had it in me to protect myself. But I proved them wrong. I proved myself wrong. At that moment, I knew that I only had myself to rely on. When worse comes to worse, it's me who makes myself push through it. Because there's not always going to be someone there to save you. There will always be doubt that crawls its way into our brains. But like the waves, it can pull you out as far as it wants, but it is up to you to make sure your head stays above the surface. So you take in a deep breath of air, make your way back to shore, and turn that pain into power. So Gideon, are you going to swim? She opens her eyes and looks up to Lady Gemcloak.
Okay. Oh.
Sorry.
It won't. There we go. It wasn't letting me unmute. Basil, make an intimidation check.
I don't think I have high intimidation.
Okay. At this moment. Oh, did you GM roll it to me?
Sorry?
17.
It just didn't.
Yeah,
it just didn't go
17.
over to Foundry.
Oh, gotcha.
No, it did. It was just a blind roll. to
Oh,
me.
okay.
It was a 17.
Yes.
At this point, you see that Lady Gemcoat continues to pull and pull and pull from these stars. The magic surging around. Yes, I was going to say basically you take a point of exhaustion. And now I roll.
My heart is beating so fast.
Trying to figure out which dice to use. Should I use... I'm going to use Bella dice.
All right, but just know I'm gonna hold this against Bella for the rest of her life if it fails.
That's fair.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I might cry.
Has to succeed. I don't want Nick to pee in my pants.
We don't need Nick to pee for you to pee for us to hate Bella. There's a lot on the line, John.
You have to clean up baby pee and Nick pee.
And Rachel's tears.
I laugh because I'm
So.
nervous.
Gideon. Hold on. I don't. Never mind. It's okay. The last thing you remember is the feeling of cold. Then an unraveling of thoughts and conscious. Darkness. Nothingness. You experience this for what seems like an eternity until a light in the distance draws you closer, calling to you, but without words. Your consciousness drifts towards the light until that single light turns into billions of lights surrounding you. Billions of stars floating in a kaleidoscope of multicolored gases in an infinite space around you. For a brief second, there is a wonder and peace as you hear a voice call to you.
Welcome home, Kiadon.
But before you can respond, the wonder and peace is quickly followed by confusion as an overload of information and knowledge floods your vision. In what seems like a millennia, your vision and thoughts are scattered across the astral sea in but a millisecond. Your vision and thoughts are scattered. Your consciousness seems to travel through the multiverse of worlds, all at once. At first, you see a world made completely of gears and cogs, land masses entirely made of brass, a world dedicated to law of time and law of order. Second, a world that looks perfectly carved and delicately placed where it should be. 7 perfectly shaped mountains encapsulate the skyline in the distance. A plain where everything looks... You see a world that looks like a giant, sprawling mass of plain lands. However, the trees are made of ivory and metallic-like materials, same as the animals that live there. A plain where the sky and the ground meet in a pinpoint center, land masses both on the ground and floating upside down in the sky, in the space between nothing but beautiful blue sky. A plain of 4 layers, where each floats above one another, a beautiful river flowing through the center of each layer, dropping off like a waterfall, eventually into an expansive, endless ocean. A plain identical to the one you knew before, but entirely covered in mountains, trees, plains, and any or most biome that would be home to all beasts of anywhere. A fantastical patchwork plane, a crazy quilt of thriving climates and environments with endless abundance. However, instead of beasts, humanoids inhabit this land. A multi-layered plane of every imagination, all interconnected by roots and branches of a gargantuan tree that holds them all together. A plane governed by their own gods outside of the creator gods. A plane of supreme chaos. A twisting quicksilver place filled with bits and pieces of rocks, trees, the four elements, entire landscapes, strong winds, and random pockets of liquid, solids, and gases. A place in between, a place of waiting. A geometric-shaped plane of constant shifting, littered with war and battle, warriors of evil and good fighting endlessly with no end in sight. A plane made entirely of rocks, pierced by innumerous tunnels and carved large and small, an open space filled with howling winds that carry the sound of every word, shouts and screams uttered throughout the place. A 9-layered place of various landscapes, inhospitable and deadly to outsiders, home and birthplace of the devils. A plane of infinite layers, home and birthplace to the demons, a violent, malevolent place where the strong have survived on the backs of the weak. The weaks conspire to overthrow the strong. Alliances only last while convenient, and the landscape itself tortures the mind and body of all of its inhabitants. You travel from plane to plane, universe to universe. Your mind full, your thoughts countless. Eventually, there is respite, as you almost seem to be pulled out of this infinite loop of visions and information. Your mind rests and thoughts stop, as you see in front of you a plane you are most familiar with, covered in mountains, trees, snow, ocean, settlements of civilizations of all kinds confined to one place, the prime material plane. The plane that in the grand scheme of things you call your home. As you focus, even with the thoughts surrounding you, your consciousness is pulled in every direction. You hear the voices of your friends, Yursa, Rian, Gat, and Basil, calling out and begging you to come home. Gideon, what do you do?
As he's just like kind of floating, just having been adrift for so long, just mind overloaded with images and knowledge and facts, to be in here for so long. And I think it takes him a moment to recognize the voices, and then it comes through more clearly and more clearly as he focuses and thinks. And he will try whatever is within his power to move in that direction.
Okay. As you try to move forward, your consciousness seems to be pulled and distributed throughout the sea before darkness and nothingness. We pan back to Lady Gemcloak and the rest of you. You see, she begins to pull out star after star, placing them together, forming a sort of nebula, a small galaxy being held in the palm of her hand. As that nebula holds, you can see her form start to weaken. The damaged wing that you had seen before starts to crystallize, along with that entire side of her body. She screams out in pain, this immense dragon roar that almost shatters the ice around. but she continues to pull star after star, placing them together. The magic draining her, as well of each of you. She continues to pull, and eventually in her hand, an unstable, writhing nebula of stars that she eventually releases into the center of the pool. She then starts to fumble backwards, transforming into her human self, kneeling in pain. You all sit there and watch the nebula almost lash out in a way, over and over again, whipping in any direction, until eventually you see it start to stabilize and form, compacting itself over and over again. The light growing brighter and brighter until eventually what you see in the center of this pool is a bright sun of a star, illuminating everything around you. It is almost impossible for all of you to look at. However, you continue to stare. You look at each other and smile. You look back and the star then starts to fade. And fade. And fade. Until there's nothing but a dark, lightless ball in front of you. It shatters, springing from within a galaxy of light that spreads over the pool. The lights start to settle and settle in the shape of a body. The shape then starts to solidify, and eventually laying in the center of the room, once the light fades, you see your friend Gideon whole.
Yay!
Let's fucking go!
Yay!
He did it.
I'm not gonna lie, John. You had
I'm
me
not.
going.
Yeah,
I was
that
like,
John.
"Fuck."
My first thought was fucking lie about the dice roll, you asshole.
That's cheating, Joe.
Gideon, you take a breath. However, all of you look at your friend, and you do not see the exact same person you saw before. Instead, as he lays there in his clothes he had previous, you see the side of his face that was covered in that blue scaly texture is gone. You see his ears are elongated to points. And as Gideon, you sit up and open your eyes, you see galaxies in his eyes. Gideon, welcome back.
Yay!
Feels like it's been forever.
Well, Rian's gonna move over and hug his ass.
Yes.
So Gideon's in the middle of like this pool.
Yeah.
He's like sitting in water right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah. I think he'd just kind of like be looking forward and like kind of like at the ground and just like breathing. You see he's like shivering like badly.
Mm-hmm.
And as you kind of, as like you come up and hug him, he starts kind of like looking around, but almost like erratically, almost like a kind of like a newborn. Like, you know, it looks like he's trying to move his head like normally, but it's just like more sharp, more jolted, like he's not used to moving. And eventually, as he settles on, we'll say Brienne, because I think Joe said he ran up first. Like, he would just be looking at him for a few moments with this look of confusion. I know your face. I know your face.
Granted, yours looks a little different, but I know you. I know you.
I knew you'd find a way to get me out of there. It was so long, but I knew. You haven't aged a day.
Believe me, it feels like I've aged much, much more than a day.
He looks it too.
All right, Gak. All right. This is a happy time, Gak. A happy time.
And he'll just kind of look around and he'll slowly
pull away.
Look towards everyone. He'll try standing up, but clearly needs help.
Yeah, Rand being right there. He'll got you.
What happened to Odin? Odin, sorry.
Odin.
We the manor. We were in like, it's like Gideon's like struggling to like pull back. There was a battle. There was darkness and creatures and daylight and a secret passage. There was we were fighting, and then he banished me to another plane. He sent me away. I couldn't get back. Did you kill him? How long have I been gone?
Only a day.
Is the world? What? No. No, it's no that.
He ran, Gideon.
Yes.
He ran away.
Gideon, I think you need to rest. It's okay. You're safe. We're here. We're here.
And as you're like holding him, all of a sudden you just see like in this kind of like flash of light and stars, Gideon like vanishes from your grip, and he appears like 20 feet to your right.
Oh shit.
And he just starts like walking very slowly in place, just like hands on his chin. This was time worked differently there. Just felt so long, but maybe. And he just starts muttering to himself, like clear. Like, you ever seen someone talk to themselves where clearly they don't realize that they're talking out loud? That is what's going on, where he is just laying this all out, assuming no one can hear him.
Rand nods to himself. Yep, that's him.
Where's here?
We need to get him home.
Where's here? Where's here? Here.
We're near Songsa.
Here. Cold. Songs.
Lady
She's
Gemcloak.
not gonna say anything. But
I've heard that name.
Go to Lady Gemcloak and just touch her on the shoulder and put as much healing into her as she can.
As you do that, you do not see it cure anything.
Oh, sorry, chick.
She looks to you and says, "Well, hold on. My voice mod isn't." She says,
Do not worry about me. Back. I will be fine. Just so you know. Do not cast that spell again.
Thank you for what you've done here.
Use this wisely.
then she kind of just gets up and starts walking.
Gideon appears next to Yrsa. All of a sudden, have I met her? I don't know her face.
I am so angry with you, but I am so happy to see you. But we need to take you home. And we will talk later. Stop thinking. I know that's hard for you to do, but you have to stop and rest.
Gideon, you can mark down 3 points of exhaustion.
Will do.
Gak was ran over to Rian. He's like, "Can I see the bag, magic bag?"
Yeah.
And Gak just kind of like reaches his hand into it, and he pulls out Gideon's pimp coat, and he walks over to Gideon and puts it on him since he was cold.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Gideon would take it and wrap around himself. Oh, soft, warm, looks nice.
Looks very nice.
When Gideon says "looks
Thank you,
nice,"
Gak.
Rian's gonna go, wait. He's gonna pull out the
He's
hat.
dyed. Didn't he dye it a different color?
The Bulgar
Yeah.
cloak?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's black.
He's gonna take out the hat and he's gonna put it on Gideon's head.
Oh. Is it too much?
No, no, I think it's just right for you.
Okay. So... how's Basil?
Basil is kind of standing off to the side, letting everybody have their moment with Gideon. She's kind of looking at him, more, kind of letting her eyes just bounce around between everybody. Clearly seeing that he's kind of in distress with coming back to life and everything, so she doesn't want to put more pressure on him with just another person who's like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm so-and-so. So she's just kind of keeping her space. But not in a bitchy way. She's just kind of
Sure.
still in her same mood.
And then quick out of game question. The port glass mirror, whatever it was called, that can only be used once a day, right? Okay, so we're stuck here a while. Just checking.
And I'd hate to ask Lady Gemcloak, but I guess we could ask her to.
We could.
Well, doesn't she have a teleportation circle here?
It's not a teleportation circle. He just opened
just
up a
did it.
portal.
Yeah, okay.
You see that Lady Gemcloak does go up to her ice throne and sit down and kind of just... You see that even in her human form, her skin is crystallized on one side. Not as much movable range as normal. She is definitely damaged.
John, I know Gideon's a little scatterbrained, but obviously, like, the party filled him in on who Lady Gemcloak was and all that stuff. Would he have enough pieces to put together that this is who this person is, potentially?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, it's not even the pieces that the party gave you that let you know who this is.
What is it specifically?
As you kind of look in the direction of Lady Gemcloak, that you feel this connection. You know of her from the knowledge you gained within the Astral Sea.
Okay. Gemcloak. Gideon kind of starts muttering to himself again. He turns his head slightly away from yours, so even though she can still clearly hear that he's obviously thinking about stuff. Okay, so she did this. Grabbed me.
I did.
Oh, she can hear me. Okay. Thank you. Sorry, tired.
It is fine. You have seen quite a lot.
Gideon will kind of start snapping his fingers, looks to Yrsa. You can help her. And he kind of points to the staff. You can. You said she couldn't get home, but you can send her. Yes?
Yrsa would slowly look to Lady Gemcloak. I can try to send you home, if you would like. It is the least that we can do.
I have not been home since before the calamity. I don't even know if it exists still.
If there is a chance to be with anyone, a chance to return to a place that you once called home, why would you not take it?
When you have been in a place far away from your place of birth for so long, that new place becomes your home. I came to the Prime Material to seek knowledge, stories, and I feel there's still more stories and knowledge to gain, especially from you. If I may. Maybe a day in the future, once I have heard your stories, you can send me home.
I will await for you then. Just say the word.
This is the favor you offer me.
Yes.
And she just kind of curiously looks towards Gideon. But she sits there, not speaking.
Nice. I'm gonna sit. Gideon will sit right where he was standing.
Okay.
Hey, Basil,
Yes, Gak.
do you have any sleepy time herbs on you?
Sure. And she'll grab one of the many vials on her belt loop and pull out some, I guess like little buds maybe, or like if she probably like ground them with a mortar and pestle. She'll go over to Gideon. Would you like something to help you sleep? There will be no dreams, so you don't have to worry.
So, and he'll start to talk and then stop, and he'll cut himself off, and he'll just nod his head.
Sorry for being up so close and personal, but you might want to take some water with this. Basil turns around. Anyone have water?
Gak just looks down.
Yeah, but I wasn't wanting to use that water.
Our stinky bodies have been in this water. I mean, I'm sure yours has some on her that she can hand.
Yeah. Basil holds it out to him.
Gideon will take it and consume.
Sleep well, Gideon.
Thank you, Basil. Missed
She
you.
kind of... Glad you're back.
And within oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say she stands up from her crouched position and walks a few paces away to give him space.
And I will say to Basil and Yursa, it obviously takes a few minutes, but given the nature of, Gideon in his current state and the combination of the herbs, it's not long until he falls asleep. But you two realize it's not how he used to sleep. It's much more... It's exactly what you two do instead. It appears he enters into more of a trance.
Interesting. I was gonna ask John what time it
Right.
was, but we're all just watching Gideon sleep in a
well,
puddle.
I assume it's still early because you guys came here first thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Even if the ritual took 2 hours, it's not even noon yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey,
I
Lady
mean,
Jim
Gideon will
Cloak.
probably sleep the whole day.
Got any
Lady.
board games?
Lady Jim Cloak, hello?
he's also taking a nap.
Hello, Lady Jim Cloak.
Sorry,
Hello?
my headset's about to die. I had to go.
Oh
grab the
no.
It's okay, Lady Jim Cloak.
I will say that Yursa too. You can see when Gideon came back again, those vines momentarily kind of subsided, but they are slowly going back to where they were around her, and she's just going to let him rest as well, and she's just going to find a spot to sit.
Okay. Lady Gemcloak does. Wait, what were you asking, Lady Gemcloak, when I was gone?
We were joking, but I think
Oh, okay.
mainly Gak was probably gonna look at the box of the glass shards. He's gonna go, oh shoot. And he just kind of looks to Rian and Yursa and Basil, and he's like, well, we
If
can't
you
use
would
this.
like, I can send you back.
Are you sure that's something you can do? Right
Yes.
now? Don't... We'd be fine. Don't do it if you don't. If you feel like it'll be too much.
If I'm being honest, I need a very long rest, and I would love to do that alone.
That's okay.
And she walks down. As she walks down towards you, she does look to all of you and say,
There is one final thing I would like to show you as you head back. A parting gift.
she looks up to the stars. And she kind of places her hand and turns her wrist, and you see a star. Dark. Obsidian, almost. She grabs it and places it into the pool where you've seen this before. However, what you see as it ripples through is a dark, desolate cobblestone castle. you see, walking through, blood pouring from the cut off hand behind him, leaving this trail through the castle. You see Oberyn, limping, heavy breathing. There is no sound from this vision, but he continues to walk and walk, making his way through corridors and rooms, upstairs, and eventually making his way to a courtyard. A courtyard that in the center is a large, very intricately carved statue of a woman. Long hair draping down the back, in a beautiful dress, almost like she's spinning, as he just walks up to it and falls and drops to his knees. He drops and then turns around and leans up against the statue with his arm up to his chest, the blood still pouring. You see tears of blood run down his cheeks, until eventually this face of sadness turns into anger. As he just sits there, looking forward. The vision fades.
Oberyn Blackmore awaits your arrival. But you have very much wounded him. I can see his spark in the sea, dying. Good luck, seekers of insomnia. The world depends on your success. Are you ready to leave?
Gak will probably look to the group.
So, I don't know much. I don't think you guys know much more than I do either. But, I have a bad feeling that if we wait, he'll get better.
We will not wait.
It's time to take his bitch ass down.
We are ready to go, Lady Gemcliff.
Can you... We can't bring Gideon.
Not like this, no.
I cannot send you there. The magics are too dark and powerful.
No,
Warding magic.
we will return. We will return back, and we will prepare ourselves again. But we will waste no time. And we will go in with everyone that we have. But we need to prepare now. But Gideon needs to rest first. But yes, Gak, I understand. We are ready to leave.
Cloak limps towards the pool.
gather.
As you all clump up once more, like before. She casts a speechless arcane spell that takes hold, and you see a glimpse into the sapphire chalice. You all enter. The warm air hits you all once again, being traveled back to the city of Aelden. Accomplished what you set out to do, getting your friend Gideon back.
Yay!
Woo!
Ooh,
So,
yeah.
Woo!
as
Woo.
you all as you all start to rest and gather
Yay.
yourselves, that's where we're gonna end the session. Thank you for watching.
Woo!
Hell yeah.
Go team! We did
We
it.
did
Good
it.
job.
Yeah, good job, guys. Woo!
All
So-
right.
It's all thanks to Gak's story.
Wait.
Hell yeah.
Were you actually not done? Keep going if you're not done.
No, I was just gonna.
Oh, sorry.
You know,
Okay.
I was gonna set the scene and close out the game, but it's whatever.
It's whatever.
Yeah. Thank you for everyone who watched and stayed with us throughout the whole thing. It was a very emotional, very heavy session, but we got our boy Gideon back.
Yes.
As a different. If you want to, do you want to tell everyone?
Oh, sure. I was going to do it when the stream ended, but we can just do it right now if you want.
Yeah, if you want to tell everyone.
Oh.
Yeah, sure. So, reuniting with the magic of his home plane, Gideon has reverted back to his true form of an astral elf.
Ooh, he is an alien.
He
Nice.
is an alien.
He's
Alien.
a mind flare.
And his magic has also returned.
Oh.
Gideon is no longer an
Nice.
artificer. He is now a lunar sorcerer.
Oh.
Which
Oh,
the
yeah.
details I will tell you guys later. It's too much right now.
Very
That's
cool.
crazy. That's
Very
awesome.
Well, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you next Wednesday for the continuation of the Tales of Evrand. Joe.
Yes. Just as a reminder, there is no Isles of Iverion this Saturday, and there's no Salamander Coast next Tuesday, as Kayla and I will be busy on both of those days for Valentine's Day. So that will be that'll be great.
Forgot.
But we will be back next Wednesday for the continuation of the Tales of Evrand, though. So be sure to come back for that. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.